Hello everyone, my name's Ed Sowerby. I am a copywriter working for a company called Writing Club. So what does a copywriter do? A copywriter basically is a writer who doesn't write books, doesn't write who's an author, doesn't write for newspapers because they're obviously a journalist, but basically everything else that you see out in the world tends to be written by a copywriter. So a copywriter, that could be advertising you see on the telly, advertising stuff you hear on the radio. It could be a leaflet that you get when you walk into a theatre. It could be the signage that you see when you go to hospital. Anything that is in words and written tends to be written by a copywriter. I got the job as a copywriter in 2005, 2006. Gosh, that's a long time ago now. But I've been a copywriter ever since then in various places. But it seems a long time, but it's not, because I love it. And that's partly because my typical day is incredibly varied, as opposed to a lot of jobs that people do where they do the same thing every day. As a copywriter, the amazing thing is you're doing a different thing every day. Yeah, you're writing, but if you like writing and you like the process of putting things down in words, that's not boring. And on top of that, you're learning about a new thing every day. So one day in the morning, I might be writing a website for a new company. So let's just say a new drinks brand who wants to tell the world what they're about and why they exist. I'll help them write that. And then the afternoon, we might be coming up with a new name for a for a shoe or a company or anything. And then later on that day, I might be helping a client who is trying to write an email to everyone inside their company. Like, you guys at school, you might get emails from your headmaster or headmistress or something, and they want that to sound as good as can be. So a copywriter sometimes helps people that are high up in companies to write in a way that really works and will make people appreciate what they're saying. So it's a really varied job and full of loads of memorable moments. I think my most memorable moment was when, after a year or so of being a copywriter, I saw the first thing that I'd ever written that was on telly, and I was watching it with my parents actually, and they said, "Oh, that looks good," and I told them that I'd written it. Gives you a really nice sense of achievement. But also, the other thing about copywriting is that it's about helping people. So some of my most memorable times have been when people have come to me saying, "We're stuck, we can't do something," and I've gone, "Here we go, I've rewritten it, and that solves the problem." So in many ways, there's lots of memorable moments all the way through. The worst part of my job is when you get stuck. As a copywriter, you can get stuck, just like you can get stuck writing something at school or at college. And it's hard because you've got to get yourself out of that. And that is a challenge. So the worst part is when you get writer's block. The best part of the job is when you have an idea. If you're a creative person, just like in a way a lot of creative people go to be designers and graphic designers and things, and I'm sure you've heard about them. But if you're creative with words, there's one of the things that a copywriter has to do is come up with ideas. So that could be a really nice idea for a headline that you see on a billboard as you're driving along on the motorway, or it could be something that you see on an ad on YouTube or whatever. And when you get an idea in your head and you write it down, then that's one of the best moments, because you've got it and you go, "Yeah, I came up with that, and that idea is there. No one can take it away from you." So again, there are lots of great parts in every day. What advice or key skills for anyone wanting to become a copywriter? Well, there's loads. I think the first thing you need to have a love of words. And that doesn't mean that you need to want to write books. And that's really important, because someone who wants, if you want to be an author, then that's amazing. Like, absolutely, you should look at that. It's a great, fulfilling. It's a hard job, but it's a really fulfilling job. Equally, if you want to be a journalist, then again, that's a great job as well. But you don't need to be a real sort of investigative person or a sort of storyteller to be a great copywriter, because a lot of copywriting jobs are actually just about the jigsaw of words. So if you're the sort of person that looks at the back of a cereal packet and goes, "Oh, I like that," or "Oh, I could have written that better," or maybe you're someone that really likes writing letters, or maybe it's someone, but you like making sure that your emails sound really good. That's the sort of thing. If that feels like you, and you like the process of writing, you like things looking well, you like shuffling things around into something that sounds better, then copywriting could be for you. Equally, if you want to write stories as well, there's different types of copywriting. So there are advertising copywriters who create the stories that go, in things like telly, and that can be something for you as well. I would suggest, if you're thinking about being a copywriter or going into any of the creative industries, get going as soon as you can. Start writing for your school paper, your school online newsletter. Start writing yourself. Start writing a blog. Start writing little stories for yourself, or anything. And squirrel them away somewhere. Because when you go to get your first job, or where you go to an interview to go to college to do it, or whatever, they'll say, "What have you written?" And it's really nice to show that you've got a backlog of stuff that you have, even if it's just a one-liner here and there. Look for courses to do. There are plenty of online courses out there that are quite cheap. There are plenty of supporting courses when you come to actually, thinking about college and university. There are great colleges out there that actually do advertising and copywriting courses, like the London College of Communication, or the University of Hertfordshire, that does an MA in advertising, which is one of the best in the world. But also ask people, right? If you've got friends that are up in doing work, or if you've got family friends or friends of parents or whatever who are in the industry, who are working in advertising agencies, just ask them. Everyone gets a step up from someone, and everyone, by and large, is really keen to help people who want to find out a bit more about this stuff. And being in an agency is a great experience. It's fun, it's relaxed, you don't go in a tie and a suit, and it's very democratic. So you might find yourself doing some of the work, which is really exciting. And then finally, if you want to be a writer, you need to learn how to touch type. It's a no-brainer. I know that where we're going, maybe we don't need to use computers anymore in the future, but right now you need to be able to type as fast as you can think. Right, finally then, if you were on a work experience with Writing Club where I work, what sort of things would we ask you to do? Well, it sucks for you all that you can't go and do internships at the moment. We're all stuck at home. If you were with us, I think two things we'd do. One is we'd probably say, go out online, into the streets, anywhere, watch a bit of telly, look at advertising that you like, look at bits of writing that you like, and just come up with 10 things you really like. And then think about why you like them and what you like about them, and then maybe discuss them is what we would do. And then secondly, our interns, we give them work to do, like we're doing, like briefs. So here's a quick brief for you. You are a copywriter and you've been asked to work for one of our clients, Virgin Trains, and they have come to us and said, "We want to advertise on a big billboard and on the telly that we're selling tickets to Leeds, train tickets to Leeds for £30, both ways, for the £30 return. And you need to come up with a cool, fun headline that says that, with a headline and a little line underneath." So that would be my brief to you. My final word is, if you like the creative industries, there's some of London and the UK have some of the best in the world. It's a really fulfilling job that actually people don't really know much about because it's not a typical job. But for the right people, it's one of the best jobs in the world. So yeah, have a good summer. Cheers all.